I honestly have no idea what I just read. I mean, I finished this book, but I have no idea what I read. It's all about something to do with like space and atoms and quantum physics, but I have no clue what I just read. And I've read quantum physics books before, but this one, I honestly have no idea what I just read. Quantum Theory by Max Planck, Niels Bohr. So, let's talk a bit about it, shall we? Stay tuned. Okay, so I picked up this book, Quantum Theory by Max Planck and Niels Bohr, because I love quantum theory. I love the implications of quantum theory, the ideas within the quantum universe. Like, it's so weird. It's fascinating subject. It's difficult to comprehend and understand. And I've read books on quantum theory and quantum physics before, with people like Brian Greene, for example. And we've got our famous physicists who, of course, helped advance quantum theory into the modern world to become kind of a mainstream science, with the likes of Max Planck, Niels Bohr, and of course, don't forget people like Albert Einstein. So, I mean, these are famous scientists for a reason. I mean, they discovered a whole new realm of science that has dramatically advanced our understanding of the universe and how it works. So when I saw this book, Max Planck, Niels Bohr, Quantum Theory, I thought, I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to read it because quantum theory is awesome. But I got to be honest with you, it's not like reading a Stephen Hawking book that was written for the layman to explain these concepts. This book is, well, I wouldn't say it's confusing. It's maybe kind of the wrong thing to say there. It's not confusing so much as these are the original papers on quantum theory by these well-known physicists who dramatically changed our understanding of science. And so the papers themselves were not written for the layman. And so for that reason, I kind of had some difficulty understanding it. I mean, it's just filled with all kinds of equations, which we got, as you can see all around me here. And honestly, math was never my strong suit in school. And so I had some difficulty following what was being explained. Now, I understood the basic concepts about radiation and the atom and the nucleus and the quanta energy. Like, I understood the basic concepts behind what the book was discussing. But really trying to understand the whole theory that's being explained, I found a little difficult with this, because like I said, it really wasn't written for the layman, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to really learn and expand my grasp of knowledge. But I guess I probably need a more foundational or maybe a book that's more written for the non-scientists in us. But I still love learning. It's why I picked up this book. It's why I chose to focus on trying to read at least one nonfiction book per month. And that's why I picked this up. I mean, it really was a great work that shaped our world. And quantum physics has really fundamentally changed the way we approach and our understanding of the world. I mean, it's because of things like quantum physics that we have the photoelectric effect was understood, which is something that this book actually discussed a little bit. The photoelectric effect and how certain wavelengths of light will force the electrons off the atom to create electricity, and that's how we get things like solar panels and solar energy, as far as creating that electricity using the sunlight. And things like solar technology and solar panels would not exist without a fundamental understanding of quantum physics that was essentially developed by Max Planck and Niels Bohr. Our very cell phones and the digital technology we use with the microprocessors, again, our fundamental understanding of quantum physics was the result of the theories put forth by Max Planck and Niels Bohr, changing our whole concept and understanding of how the world works. So this is huge change in how we understand the world. It's because of this understanding of quantum physics that I'm able to make this video and share it with you and put it out on the internet there. And that's just an awesome thing. And that's really what I love about this quantum physics, is enable the technology that we understand and know today. So I really hope to continue to learn more about quantum physics. It's just that this particular book was difficult for me to really grasp what it was being explained, just in the manner in which it was explained. It said these were the papers originally published around 1918, 1919, 1920 on quantum physics by Max Planck and Niels Bohr. So these papers were not written for the layman in mind. They were written for the scientific community, and that is part of why it is difficult, I guess, for me to understand. And maybe you might pick up this book and grasp it much better than I did, which would be great. And see, that's kind of where I run into this little bit of a problem. You see, because I love quantum physics so much, and I love the ideas and the technology and the concepts and the understanding of our universe that has come and derived from quantum theory, I really want to give this book a 5-star rating on it. But because I had trouble really understanding what was being written, or kind of grasping or processing the concepts trying to be described, at least in the manner in which it was written, which again, I don't fault the book for that, because I knew going in that these were papers written with the scientific community in mind, not the layman in mind. So it's hard to fault it for that. But because I had some trouble with that, I feel like I can't really give it the kind of rating that I wanted to give it. Unfortunately, it kind of puts it down around a 2-star on Goodreads. But again, not because there's something fundamentally wrong with the book. And I have to emphasize that, like, if you're a really scientifically literate, scientifically minded individual who has a good grasp and understanding of quantum theory, then, you know, you may find that this is a really good read and you would enjoy it. Just for me, because I am not a physicist, I'm not a scientist, it's just an area of science that I happen to have an interest in learning more about. It was a bit more difficult for me, and that's really all I'm saying. So, I mean, definitely I hope to continue to learn more, and, you know, maybe I'll just stick to like the Stephen Hawking and Brian Greene type books, who really are more written towards the, you know, layman audience such as myself, rather than the scientific community, to learn more about this particular subject. So just kind of to end this review, I did want to share a quote from the book that's kind of in the introduction to the book, which is something that I've fundamentally come to believe and realize, and it's part of what makes quantum theory so interesting to me. So right in the beginning of the book, where it's given us the introduction, the beginning of the quantum world, it states, "It simply cannot be understated. Quantum theory is the foundation of so much of our understanding of how and why the universe works. Some of our technology today, and many of those that will develop in the future, are rooted in some kind of quantum phenomenon. Without our understanding of its complexities, the world we inhabit would be fundamentally different." And that is so true in so many ways. And I will continue to learn more about this, I guess. And hopefully, maybe this time I'll just stick to books I know are written for, you know, somewhat of my scientific literacy in mind. Anyway, those are just my thoughts there on Max Planck and Niels Bohr's quantum theory. Great works that shaped our world. Loved the theory, had some difficulty with the book. Those are my thoughts, and like I said, probably a 5-star review if you are much more scientifically literate in the world of quantum mechanics and physics than I am, but unfortunately I had to give it a 2-star review, simply because I'm just not well versed enough to understand a paper geared towards the scientific community on this particular subject. So I guess until next time, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and, you know, let me know what you thought or think in the comments below. You know, and don't forget, of course, to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time on the next episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Until then, keep on reading. Bye.